All right, everyone. Welcome. This is the Darker Tanned Asians podcast. I'm your host, Victor. And over to my far right here is my co-host, Omar the Oos. And today we have a special guest, Nathan Matulessya. And Nathan is a teenage actor who has appeared in a Hulu show. So, and we'll get to that. So, Nathan, welcome to the show.
Glad to be
Know
here.
you. So, yeah. So let's get right at it, Nathan. Okay. We want to know when did you start acting and how did you start acting?
Man, I went I went to an acting school first, but I fully started acting, I believe around, I'm gonna say, just to be safe, like summer of 2017. Um, and I honestly, at first, I wasn't really interested in the whole like acting film industry. I was more of just like, you know what, I want to go to school. I want to graduate university. I don't know, work a normal job, I guess. But I believe me and my family, we were walking to Target or Walmart, one of those stores, and someone came up to us. She was like, "Hi, your kids are so cute. We would want them to like not work, but attend our acting school." And she looked at me and I was like, I'm not really interested in that. I'm not really into the whole film thing. But my brother said yes. He was like, yes, I'm so down for this. I want to do this. So they gave us like an invitation and they brought us to this like hotel. And it was like a big conference room where like meetings are usually held at. And they had this guest star who guest starred in like different like Disney shows and all that. And they wanted the person to go up there and read this monologue. It's not about like their acting ability. It's just they wanted to see if you were confident enough to like read a couple lines, whether you mess up or whatever. They just wanted you to say something, you know? And my brother went up. He was confident. He said what he said. And after that, they had like a sign up sheet for the acting school. And to finalize it, they wanted us to actually go to the school, and it was like this small little place in Diamond Bar, and it's like a small place, and we went into the office, and we negotiated like prices and everything, and they offered something for me, and they thought it would be better if I joined the school as well, and my parents were like, okay, yeah, we're down for that. So in the end of the day, at the end of the day, my brother and we attended the school and we graduated in 2017. And now I enjoy acting. I generally do.
Hey, Nate. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So that kind of works into the my other question, or the next question is so you already told us kind of where you learned, but what was it like going to school there, and would you recommend it going to the school to help improve their set, or do you think they should freestyle it? Or, you know, I mean, some people can come off the street and become an actor. Some people you have to work on it. Some people you got to do both. So would you recommend going to school for acting?
That's honestly, I feel like that's a preference. I think one should know like what you need. Me personally, I needed guidance. I didn't go into acting because I mean I didn't want to at first, so I didn't have anyone to like push me. Right. So me personally, I feel like going to a school can really show you like a few things on how you can find your like learning pattern. But if you have that natural acting ability, someone can just like go in and be like, okay, I got this. You know, something can just come out naturally without any like lesson, anything that, you know, they need to be taught. So honestly, it depends on you. If you need and you feel like you need that guidance, definitely take an acting class. It's fun too. So you're not like wasting your money or anything. But if you think you can do it, then you know you could just do it without any like lessons. So yeah.
All right.
So you you really kind of stumble into acting, right? But now that you're kind of immersed in and you found a sort of a passion for it, What were there any? Are there any actors, or are there any actors that that inspired you? That like, you know what? I like this person's acting style. I want to sort of take some of that and make it my own. Or were there any influences?
Yeah, actually, quite a few actually. I think the number like the only person that I truly do look up to was Grant Gustin. He plays the Flash. And I grew up watching the Flash. Well, I didn't fully grow up, but like when I believe season 3 came out, I don't know. Like the reviews of the show, they're almost all over the place, but I truly still do love the show just
Oh,
because it's like nostalgic to me in a way.
Mm.
But yeah, Grant Gustin, I really like the way he portrays emotion in just his voice. Another actor is Leonardo DiCaprio, of course. I mean, his ability to
Leo.
just bring it out, it's amazing. And I saw a clip on the internet for, I think it was Wolf of Wall Street, where it was before they started filming. He was just like, he had a straight face, and when they said action, he like, something clicked, and I was like, dang, that's something that I want to
Right.
be able to do.
Yeah.
And another actor that I look up to, he's kind of trending actually right now, but it's Andrew Garfield. I think,
Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
yeah,
There you
Spider-Man.
go.
He had a mask for Spider-Man. He had a mask on. So if you're feeling upset, you can't see that. If he's happy, you can't see that.
Right.
So the way he expresses his emotions is through his body movement. And I think that's amazing because I believe it was Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he was talking to Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy. I think that's the character's name. But
Yeah.
he was like, he used his whole body to express his feelings for her, like making sure he's okay or she's okay and all that. And I think that's just so amazing. I honestly want to be able to just express emotion through my body, especially if you can't see my face.
Right.
So those 3 guys I really do love. They're amazing, and I genuinely look up to them. So yeah.
Yeah, and Omar, I think that's what makes actors stand out, right? Is using your whole body.
Oh yeah.
We're
the
taught
legends,
to like, yeah, we're taught to communicate with the eyes, but if you can communicate with your body as well too, that's using everything, right? And that's acting.
Another good example too, it's an older movie, but Jet Li, Unleashed. Remember the whole movie he didn't talk, he's just a mute, but he was able to show like when he was like when he was getting disciplined, or he felt like he could show scared, he could show all that, like kind of like what you're saying with Garfield, his body. I mean, granted his face was in the open, but like he still was able to use his body with his face. You kind of believe that he was like even though he's a human dog in in the movie, but like he felt like he was I don't know, you could feel like the animal, the sadness from it. But
yeah, and you can convey a lot of emotions through your body, not just your eyes. And if you can do both, then that's that's a very, very good. Those are good. That's a very good arsenal in your acting capabilities.
Right.
And that's why Nathan, you mentioned those guys. And Leo's we can all agree here. Leo is he's up there. And that scene that you're talking about in The Wolf of Wall Street, he had to land this like one of the best like monologues ever, right? In the little not the control room, but the little meeting, the big meeting, right? And he nailed it, and right, and it was just like and boom, right? And that's everything. That's the eyes, and that's your body that you use.
It's everything, this God tier level kind of ultra instinct mode.
Yeah, exactly.
I have another question. Like, since like it's already hard enough, dealing with school and stuff, and then you got the pressure of being an actor too. So like, I already know it's hard enough to be just a student, but then have the pressure of trying to like land gigs and do movies and stuff. How did you balance something like that when it's, especially nowadays, it might be a little easier, but it's probably still just as stressful.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I feel like for me, it kind of just flowed. I don't really like writing things down. I mean, heck, for homework, I gotta like write things down just to remember. But as far as prioritizing things, I kind of just do that in my head. And when acting came along, I feel like the most stressful thing was, I guess, keeping your grades up, because especially as a minor, you need to have pretty good grades to kind of get that working permit just to be able to work in the film
Oh,
industry.
really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, since I'm about to turn 18 this year, I don't really need to worry about that. But yeah,
You got some time left though.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, I got some time.
It is a little bit of a worry. No, I'm kidding, but yeah.
Yeah, so that was the only like stressful part for me, like keeping the grades up, because of course I got to balance everything. But school wise, I was homeschooled for one of my projects, so it was kind of easy for my short film. It was easy to like bring schoolwork on set and offset, and it was easy to balance that. But working for the Hulu show Pen 15, that was a little harder, because I had to skip school and I had to like keep in contact with my teachers, which it was kind of new, because actually when I started filming for Pen 15, we had a new system in our school. So like emailing teachers was like kind of new. So it was kind of hard for me to kind of like balance that. But I guess if someone is planning to, start acting and they have school in the way, I feel like the most important thing is like communication. Just talk to your teachers, make sure they know that you're going to be out doing, work.
Right.
And tell them, like, ask them for the assignments that you missed, because that's something I definitely did not do. And it was new.
Right.
Like the whole email system was kind of new. So I was like, oh man, I didn't even know this. So I had to, I was behind for like a few days, but it was easy for me to catch up. So definitely keep in contact with your teachers.
Yeah. So you said, I know you had mentioned one of the biggest things you did was Pen 15, which we're going to get to. But what were some of the projects before? I know you worked on a really, really awesome, and I got to view it myself, Omar, at the premiere. He invited along with his uncle. What were some of the projects that you did before? Let's talk about that.
Well, actually, my biggest the thing that I first got was the short film. And honestly, I think I've only worked on those two projects so far. I am still auditioning, of course. But yeah, the first thing that I've ever done was the short film. That was
tell us about that. What's the title, and then give us a synopsis of it, if you may.
Of course, yeah. The short film is called In This Land We're Briefly Ghosts, and it follows two siblings. They're soldiers, and they try to escape this military base, but they get caught, and it's like a life and death situation. They're imprisoned, and the brother is sick. I play the brother. His name is Tinman. We're imprisoned, and I'm sick. I got rashes, I'm coughing, I'm like bleeding out. So it's really in the hands of the sister. Her name is Susumaya. I believe that's her name. And she gets to decide, does she want to kill me and escape prison? Or does she really want to stick through it, But I'm dying. So I'm dying. I'm genuinely dying. And it's her choice to end the suffering, or stick it through and possibly die with me. So, and the story kind of goes through their trials and all that. So,
and Omar, guess what? We happen to find a trailer for that, so we can show a visual of it.
Okay.
So Nathan, let me show the trailer, okay? And yeah, talk us afterwards. Let's check it out. Let's see what he means by that, because
I want to see this, man. This
it's a very, very, I got to see it, and it's very, very heartfelt film.
赶路在那回来。渡边，夜神，绵绵路。渡边，渡绵绵边。边。走动，我叫。Terus kau terima pecah lagi.
So that is very powerful. That film there obviously talks about child soldiers, right? In Burma, okay, and you know it's a big issue, and I think for Nate, for a role like that, right, to portray what it's like for something that's actually still ongoing and it's been a problem worldwide, to be able to convey those emotions. I mean, you know, was that a very tough role to play?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. Considering that I was mute as well, I couldn't really say anything. So yeah, like that's why I kind of looked into Andrew Garfield, because I really liked how he used his body, and that's something I had to learn. But it was hard because that type of trauma, you know, the soldiers go through, that's something I can't simply just create in my head. So what I did was we had rehearsals on set. We definitely had rehearsals. So sometimes we would take time of our day just to go onto like on set and just, you know, go over the whole scene, and it kind of like fed into me, you know. Like I think we rehearsed for months, over 3 or 4 months. So by the time we actually went to filming, I memorized everything and it was kind of easy. But when I first got the script, it was hard. It was just, nothing can really recreate that trauma, because it's something that I'm trying to escape. Plus I'm mute and I'm dying.
Right.
So I had all of these like characteristics and I had to like go through it, and it was definitely hard. But
Right.
I feel like I did a pretty good job on portraying that type of character. But I definitely watched like war movies just to get that feeling, and trying to put myself in that situation where I'm dying, my sister is sacrificing her time for me. I'm just trying to live, and it felt like the whole world was like against me. So that's something I had in my mind. That was my thought process. That was my thought process. And yeah, that's it was pretty hard. Yeah.
I think Omar, he thought he did a pretty good job. I thought, yeah, I think the San Diego Film Festival thought you did a pretty good job too.
I was gonna say,
since you won Best Leading Actor award.
Thank you.
I think that's the answer right there.
Yeah, and think about it, Omar, being mute, knowing that he was dying, and then you saw that scene alone, Omar, right there, that he had to kill his sister. They wanted him to kill his sister, and those things happen, you know, sadly enough, you know, things like that happen. That's why that film really portrayed, you know, just the horrors that child soldiers have to go through.
And
right,
just from that like 2-minute clip, though, you felt the, you know, like the weight and the emotion. And just from that little clip, you could see, like he said, you could see him talking without talking. Like his body was telling, like everything you could see on his face and his body, like the struggle of, like, you know, the internal struggle and the pain of, like, okay, maybe if I do kill her, then if I live, I'm only gonna live for so long anyway. Yeah. But she's my sister, and all this other stuff was going through his head. So there's the conflict you could see all over. Like it's from that little clip, but even though it was short, you get the power and the punch of everything.
Exactly, and that's a really good way to say it, the power and the punch, because it you feel it, and you know, when you see it, you feel it, because it hits the heart, because people can try to, though they do, you know, obviously we can't exactly relate, but when you empathize, you know, if you have your own kids, or if you're a kid yourself, you think, what if I'm in the position, and people are put in that position, And that's why they portrayed that film. Now, here's an interesting thing. You guys shot in Taiwan, parts of it in Taiwan?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, how was that like?
It was fun. Man, that was like I think the first time I've ever been out of the United States, and
you get to go to
I was
Taiwan. Damn.
yeah, I was there with my uncle, and I believe we spent 8 days in Taiwan, and they allowed us for I believe the first 2 or 3 days, no, probably just the first 2 days to kind of enjoy Taiwan. Then I believe maybe the next 4 days to work, and then the last 2 days to just enjoy Taiwan. So it was definitely fun.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it a lot. It was a different work habit because I know there are like laws here in the United States that a minor can't work for, I think, definitely not more than 12 hours.
Right.
But I know for sure that's what we did in Taiwan. So man, I was so tired.
Hey,
so
Omar,
tired.
if you're doing a movie and you need to employ, you need to violate some child labor laws,
Just go to Taiwan.
we know where to go to.
Right. Definitely.
No, but yeah, you're right. There's laws in different places, and you get a really full gist of what it's like being an actor. I mean, you do, but that's guys. I mean, they're long hours, right? I mean, yes, it's people as actors. You want to do this because this is your craft and passion, but no one said it was going to be hard or it's not going to be grueling, because there's some like 12-hour days, 16-hour days. And Nate, being a teenage actor, I mean, he went through what 12. I mean, he didn't say exact number. Let's just keep it that way. But 12-hour, the 12-hour days.
And unexpected the weather too, being covered in dirt and water, and just being like not comfortable, like
exactly.
Situations like it puts a lot of stress in your brain.
Yeah, definitely. But it's interesting because the only reason why we went to Taiwan, or from what I was told from my director, was the set here was destroyed. So yeah, we've originally filmed somewhere in LA. I don't remember, but we had the set, we had the little shed or whatever. Actually, it's not in LA. It was somewhere in the mountains. I'm not really sure.
Probably Santa Clarita, where
I think
that
so.
area.
Actually,
okay.
Yeah, maybe, most likely. So we had the whole set, and we had everything, and we wanted to recreate that set, and we did. And I believe a few days before we were actually going to start filming again, it got taken down, and we're like, man, that was like, man, like what's with this, So the director, the laws, so we went to Taiwan. They recreated the set. Everything was there, and it felt like I was in the shed again. Like the set was so unreal. But yeah, work was definitely hard. Like the weather was also kind of bizarre, but I was tired. Like I was working, and there was a scene where I don't know if it made it to the final cut. I'm not really sure, but where I was sleeping, and I actually did fall asleep. But I would wake up when they say cut, so I was like always working, I guess. But there were times where I couldn't. I was so tired. The makeup was itchy too, because we had to have like fake artificial like sweat. So it was just dripping, and my face was itchy, and I was like, I want to scratch it, but I don't want to ruin the makeup. So at times I would just be like moving my muscles and everything just to get rid of that itch. So yeah.